Kimmy, welcome to the podcast. Glad to have you.
I'm glad to be back. Thank you.
Christmas is coming up quick, real quick. And so I have a few questions for you. No explanations. Just give me like a yes or no for these following hot topics. Are you ready?
Yes.
Christmas neighbor gifts, yes or no?
Depends on my mood at that moment.
Oh,
So
you're not
usually
just a
bake.
solid yes?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yes, that's not a convincing yes. So do you make something?
Yes. I usually bake. I usually give out our Italian Christmas cookies because they make a ton. And so the goal every year is to give them to the neighbors.
Okay.
But
Do you have a set date? Like I have to do it by this date or it's not happening? No.
no, because we're always making them. So
Okay. Stockings,
Mhm.
yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Cookies for Santa.
Yes. No
What
matter
kind?
how old the kids are.
I know.
Yes.
What kind?
Usually what we have left, so there's usually the Italian Christmas cookies, and if we bought any of like the holiday big boxes from like Costco or Sam's Club, we'll throw a few on there. So, but yeah,
Okay. Okay. So your
yeah,
kids are older, but what about teacher
yeah.
gifts? Is that a yes or no?
Yes, I usually try to give them something. Not so much Boston with him being a junior. That's a lot of gifts. I ask him if there's like a certain teacher, but usually it's a no. But with my daughters, like co-op homeschool, there's two of them, so they always get something.
What's
So
a
yeah.
what's a teacher gift that you like to give?
Um, it's random every year. Like last year, I found these really cute teacher ornaments at Walmart for like $3 and had a really sweet saying about teachers. So I gave them that ornament and I believe I gave them the cookies as well. But there
Awesome.
was something else. I'd have to go back to my YouTube video and watch and see what I always go back to my videos. What did I do last year? So it's
Yeah,
usually
I do that too sometimes with recipes. I'm like,
no,
I can't find my
yeah.
cinnamon roll recipe. I'll just go back and
Oh,
watch.
all the time. Maybe last year I gave a gift card with it. I think that's what I did. I think I gave a gift card with the ornament. Yeah.
From what I've heard from teachers, the gift card is the primo
Yeah.
teacher gift. They love those.
Oh,
No
yeah. Because
mugs. Did you know no mugs?
they don't need another. I
No,
don't
they
even need
don't.
another mug. My cupboard is like mugs.
The official holiday dinner, ham,
Mhm.
turkey, something else. What is it?
It's usually turkey.
Okay. Even
Yeah.
even for Christmas, turkey again.
Yeah. I would say the last 2 years it's been turkey just because when our son comes back home, he's in the military. When he comes home, we'll smoke up a turkey. He likes dad smoked turkey. So
Yeah.
yeah,
A,
it's
a
usually
brined and
turkey.
smoked turkey is really hard to beat.
Yeah. And also depends too like where the holiday dinner is. Sometimes we'll do a pork, depending on where. There was one year we did prime rib. Like the whole family pitched in and we went to Costco and got a big brick of prime rib and we smoked that up. So that was good.
Yeah,
But
we did prime rib once and it was awesome.
mhm, yeah.
Expensive.
Well, yeah, that's why everyone ante up because
Yeah,
yeah.
it is expensive. So if you had to pick between holiday movies and holiday music and you could only have one, which one do you
Yeah,
pick?
the movies.
The movies. What's your top number one holiday movie?
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Come on. If that's not like at one or number two, you've got problems. It's gotta be that movie.
It's
And
not my one or two.
really? Come on.
I love holiday movies. I love them. Like I've even made YouTube videos on like watching them and rating them and stuff.
Oh,
But my top two are absolutely White Christmas and It's a Wonderful Life.
it's a wonderful
Hands
life.
down.
Yes. That's always a top. That's a great one. But I don't like It's a White Christmas. To me, it's not a
Oh,
Christmas
why?
movie. It it doesn't get Christmassy really until the end.
But it happens over Christmas.
Yeah. I'm not
Okay,
a
so what
fan of
about
that
this
one.
one? To me, While You Were Sleeping is a Christmas movie
I could see that. I totally
because
can.
it occurs over
Yeah.
Christmas. Yeah.
Yep.
Which is
And
also on my list of top must watch.
And Serendipity, I would consider that a Christmas movie.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow, I
Yes,
haven't
and
seen that one in a while.
yeah, Serendipity and Little Women. I love listening to the Little Woman soundtrack. Like
Uh-huh.
the one with Winona Ryder, that movie soundtrack.
Right.
That's Christmas to me. But yeah.
Yeah, good call.
Yep.
I might have to watch Serendipity again. It's been a minute. I always love Jeremy Piven's
Jeremy Piven's.
character. Well, in
Oh yeah.
every movie. He's
Everything.
so
Everything.
hilarious.
Yeah, that's a good one. And I love Derek and I love The Family Stone.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen that since I saw it in the theater.
Oh my gosh, I love that one. I love that
I
one.
might have to
Yeah.
go back and watch that one again.
Yep. And when I bake, I put on Christmas with the Cranks.
That is such a funny movie.
Notifications.
Do you know it's from a book, right?
Yes. Yeah, I haven't
Yeah,
read the book, but
the
I
book is
did hear
also
that.
hilarious. Can
Oh, well,
recommend.
that's good
But
to know.
yeah, my kids love that one. They're like, "We gotta watch Christmas with the Cranks every single year."
Oh yeah. Oh, we love that one. Love that one.
Okay,
Yep.
so Kimmy, you've been on YouTube for how long now?
12 years.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a long time.
Oh my goodness. So your
Yeah.
content these days is definitely based around long-term food storage, cooking, a little
Yeah.
bit of homemaking there.
Mhm.
Tell me about the long-term food storage because if they've ever seen your videos, or maybe if they haven't, and I'm just talking about it now and they don't know who you are, you have this room in your house that's like a 1 year of food storage on
Yeah.
these really pretty shelves. So just why? Like why 1 year of food storage?
I'm a bargain shopper. Like, I hate paying full price for anything. And so, if I can shop my shelves and know that I got that at a sale price, I'm saving money. I'm not running out and paying full price for everything. Why would I not? Like, I can't imagine like going and getting my go-tos all the time and just paying these crazy prices. It just in the long run, it doesn't save you money. And I save more money shopping the way that I shop. And yeah, if I have to pay full price for something, I'm literally like highly annoyed.
You're like speaking my love language right now.
Highly annoyed. Yeah.
So did you like watching Seinfeld?
I do. Yeah, I
A
did.
little bit. There's this
Yeah.
one episode where Kramer goes to it's supposed to be like a Costco or like, a bulk store,
Uh,
and they're making fun of him because he bought too much stuff and he can't fit it in the car and he can't fit it in his apartment. But his line that I love so much is he was like, "Retail is for suckers," and I was like, "Yes, definitely, retail is for suckers." I get
it is.
also highly annoyed paying full price for anything ever, whether that's a movie ticket or a pair of shoes or ground beef or whatever. I don't wanna pay full
Yeah.
price. I find it very bothersome.
It drives me crazy. Like it it is one of my biggest pet peeves. And when I've
So
missed a sale, I just am like, "Why didn't I get off my butt and go?" And now we're like, got 1 jar of that left and oh, yeah. It
so is
pays to be
there
vigilant.
I agree with you. So as you've been building your long-term food storage, which you've done slowly over time,
Oh,
it's
yes.
like people don't know you. It's not like you went to the store and just bought pallets and pallets and filled trucks
Yeah,
and trucks until you had this room. It was slow and systematic over time. Have you
yeah.
ever bought anything in that time frame that you just didn't use and then ended up going to waste?
Yeah, I would say on our shelf right now, the things that are moving the slowest is the canned potatoes and carrot. The potatoes the most. They're moving slower. I bought them at a really good like sale, bulk sale, case lot sale Utah had, and I only bought. I didn't buy like a ton of them, maybe a case of them, but they're not moving as fast as I like. And I love hearing like seeing in the comments people are like, "Oh, I do this with my canned potatoes." And so we're starting to now try their suggestions, but I noticed that it's not I wanted to see if I would really use it in some soups and stews and other things and it's just not our favorite.
Yeah,
Um
I'm with you on the canned potatoes. It's not my favorite either.
It's not. I'd rather buy, like, the potato flakes and the pearls, where they have a much longer shelf life than a can. They taste better, Yeah, so I would say those are the ones that I'm just like, I'd rather buy them freeze dried or dehydrated and skip the can on those 2.
Yeah, I would
Ugh,
agree with you. So, other than the saving money part, what are some other reasons it's a good idea for people to have maybe not a year, but a
yeah.
month,
Oh,
2 months? What are some other reasons people might want to do this?
well, for one, you want to never have to pay full price. That's number one. When you shop this way and you have the things on your shelf, you're ready to go. But two, if you're in a pinch, like there's months in our family where money is tighter. Like money, it seems to always be tighter in July. And I don't know if it's because the 4th of July and we whoop it up with the fireworks because my husband's birthday's on the 4th. But our budget goes tighter because of parties and we have more outings. Um, and so we just noticed that like our budget's tighter. So if I have everything ready in here, we can handle those tight months, especially if like you weren't expecting a medical bill or something. But the biggest thing people are going to face more than like a natural disaster is a loss of job, you getting sick, having something in your home. I mean, I definitely won't take the excuse I don't have the space. I don't
I
want to
hear
hear it.
I hear that one often, but I did it a little
No.
when I was in an apartment. You can store things under
Yes.
beds or
You can
in a
lift your
in a
bed.
coat closet. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no, like I kind of brushed that off. I'm like, no, that's no excuse. Like you can have a bin. Like I even shared a video once about just having a month in a Rubbermaid bin, and I showed like examples of what foods and meals you could put in that bin, and have it as a backup. I think everyone should have some food insurance. Your car insurance, your home insurance, your life insurance. Why wouldn't you have food insurance? Because think about it. Every time you run to the store to go shopping for the week, you made your menu plan, you've got your ingredients and you go. Do you honestly walk out with just what's on your list? Like,
No,
no,
never.
never. No, you don't. I don't. In fact, the way that I shop, I have a list, for the little fresher ingredients for the meals we're going to have. But I don't put blinders onto my list because the way that I shop is I'm watching the deals, the sales. So I'm going to come out with more, but and put it on my shelves so later I'm shopping at that discount and not full price. So I am definitely not the person that's going to teach you stick to your list, tunnel vision. But when you start shopping like I do, you are going to have tunnel vision because you are looking for those things that weren't put in the flyers or that were online. Like there's always a gem. And if it's one of your go-to items that you're constantly using, I'm going to buy it and put it on my shelf. So, yeah, I think everyone needs to get out of their comfort zone and do their homework. Is it work? Sure, but honestly, it becomes like a muscle memory, and it's worth it. It's so worth it.
For you, you do a lot of canned and shelf stable items, which I think is super helpful, especially I know you said maybe not necessarily a natural disaster, but recently this year we had 2 major hurricanes hit
Yep.
the East Coast pretty shockingly and severely, and there were a lot of people that were without power for over a week, and I do think that the shelf stable has a place, instead of maybe freezer, fridge, because a lot of those people lost everything
Yep.
that was in their fridge and freezer, but the shelf stable stuff, probably especially the cans, if I'm talking about the people who dealt with flooding also, like, you can still eat those, and the thing with canned is you can actually just eat them cold, you don't even have to cook
Yeah.
them.
Oh, you can eat them cold. Some comments I get like, oh, all the sodium. It's like, okay, but you got to understand, we're not opening a canned good every day. Or some
Right.
recipes might have one canned good. But um, but why wouldn't you have that on there? I mean, and a lot of people are surprised by the date that's on the can. They're like, I saw comments of like, I threw so many cans away. Are you telling me I didn't have to throw it away? No, like you have on some canned goods, like 7, maybe 8 years. Tomatoes are different because they're, high in
Acidic.
acid.
Yes.
So you could go 5 years. I've gone 5 years. It's like, no, they have to put a date. They have to put like that on there. But it's Best Buy. or use by. I don't think you'll ever see. I've not seen it where it says expiration. I've
I
never
think
seen that
the
on a can.
only one that says that is baby formula
Oh,
has an
probably.
actual expiration, I believe, as far as
Yeah.
food products go. But even the FDA
Yeah.
website has said canned goods are good indefinitely as long as, like, use your eyes and
Mhm.
nose. You know, if you don't see any bulges, if you don't smell anything weird, if it doesn't look bad, you're
Yep.
pretty much good.
Even if it's dented on the side, you're fine. You don't want that dent near the rim at all,
Right.
either bottom or top, like not at all. There was one time I was in my food room and I can hear this hissing. I'm like, where is this coming from? And so I'm like walking around my shelves, like literally up to the canned goods, like going around listening. And it was one of the canned carrots. I it was leaking. I have no idea, but it was hissing. And I was like, oh, going in the
Yep.
trash.
That one
So
goes. Yep.
yeah. And I've actually had some of my canned goods tested for Inside Edition. Like they had some expert and they opened up the cans and tasted them. Like, gosh, they were at least 4 years old at that time. And they were like, yeah, these are fun. I'm like, I know. I
Yeah,
know,
it's cool.
So, oh, I always tell people, don't throw them away. And so many people are like, my husband, wants me to throw these away. I'm like, then go hide them under your bed. Like, d- give me a break. Like, you're throwing money away. Like, tell them to chill. Give them the information. Like, don't throw them away.
You haven't talked about this, but it is something that I think about because after 2020 and the empty shelves there, and then the trucker strike that was fairly recent that only lasted a day, it wasn't that long.
Yeah.
Um, am I right on that? Was it the trucker strike or was it the rail? It
Or
was the dock
it
workers.
was the ports.
Yes,
It
yeah, the
was,
ports.
yeah.
So our entire country is run on the trucking system.
Yeah.
And the way that the grocery stores stock their shelves is based on past information. Like, I would go buy 2 cans of cream of mushroom soup a week, and they have that in their system with all their computers. 300 people come in, each one of them buys one or two. So that's all they keep in the store because they're getting a truck next week to restock everything they've gone out of. So if something happens, like panic buying or a strike or the trucks go down, or maybe I don't know, we move to semis, like electric semis, maybe they don't work, I don't know, whatever, fill in the blank with whatever goes wrong, and the truck can't get to the store that week. Guess what happens? The store shelves are empty. And it's not because people usually it's not because people are panic buying, it's because they bought their normal stuff and then the truck didn't come, so they
Yeah.
didn't restock. We're so used to seeing full shelves all the time, but that's because they're constantly working to restock everything. And if something goes wrong in that pipeline on any level at all, you'll see empty stuff. And I think we've seen that in the past a little bit. It happens every time there's a natural disaster warning coming. Everyone goes and preps right before, which means I'm not saying they're
It-
going crazy. I'm saying they're buying more
no.
than their 2 cans of soup. Maybe they're buying 5. But if everyone buys
And
5, it goes.
yes, and that is when, I mean, you can call it hoarding, but emergency, like panic shopping. There you go.
Hmm.
It's called panic shopping. So when, a few months ago when they were saying that the East Coast ports could be shut down, we had people here in Utah. I don't know where you are, like people were
Um,
scooping up freaking toilet paper again like it was 2020. And I was like, people, our toilet paper is made here in America. And then everyone runs out. We're like, well, we might not have this or this. So when everyone runs out, the shelves are completely wiped out, and you're leaving the people that can't afford to shop like that destitute. That's what bothers me. When 2020 happened and they had us stay home, there was panic buying there. uh, Derek and I didn't do any of that. We had what we needed. We had our go-to meals. We had the shelf stable ingredients for those go-to meals, and our freezers had like the beef or the chicken or whatever protein that needed to go with it in the freezer. That was it. Like the only thing that we maybe spent, I think we gave our budget like $200, was we bought freeze dried protein.
oh, that's
So
a good idea.
Yeah, we ordered Patriot Supply had a really good sale on freeze-dried chicken and beef. So that's what we bought. Like we took our gas money that we weren't going to be using for those 2 weeks, and because we're going to be home and everything was canceled, the kids' sports, all of that. So we took our gas money and we put it into long-term food storage and got the chicken and the beef. That was it. We didn't run out and get toilet paper, nothing. It was That's what we did. So, but when you're in a crisis, there's a storm coming. I mean, there to a point I could get that, but we got to think about the people that can't shop like that,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know?
So it's
And
almost a kindness if you're free to do a little excess in advance. And I mean a little. I mean 5 boxes of pasta instead of two, like, a little
yep,
bit more. That
yeah,
way you're still leaving stuff for people who really are not in a circumstance to do that. It's really
yeah,
kind of a smart, like by being self prepared, you're helping the
yes,
ones who aren't able to do that quite so much as you.
exactly,
Yeah, I like
exactly.
that.
Yeah. So I just encourage people just shop, learn to shop for your go-to items, watching the sales, and it's not just like watching the sales, it's knowing the prices at your stores that you always shop at, like knowing the base price. Yes, they'll fluctuate a little bit depending on the market and what's happening, but like you've got a general idea. So that way when you're on the app or if you're looking at the flyers and they're like sale, you could be like, that's not a sale. Like this store over here always has it at that price, or I can get it cheaper there. That's where you're going to save. And I think people need to be vigilant with that, because like yes, you can save money sometimes buying in bulk. Like I love Sam's Club and Costco, love them. People are like, which one's Sam's Club or Costco? I'm like, I both.
Sam's
you
Club's
know
cheaper.
I
People
know
get so mad when I say that, but I
it
have done the
it's
work.
It's true. It is true that Sam's Club is cheaper, but I would rather get quality meats at Costco versus Sam's Club. Like,
Oh, interesting. I actually don't buy
yeah,
my meat at either.
I know. We go in on a family cow, so we freeze that way. And then when
Okay.
we run out, we use Butcher Box. But Costco's meat is just better quality than Sam's Club. Like,
Okay.
yeah, and especially with Derek, who loves to smoke and grill, a meat guy. He'll tell you too, the quality is better at Costco.
Listen,
But
I'm a meat guy.
yeah. So it's like, but then okay, you could be a meat guy, but okay, but what does your budget say that month too? We'll
Right.
always do what we got to do, right? So, but even at the bulk stores, you got to know the their base prices and then compare it to the stores in your area.
Mhm.
Um, and so it takes some homework, but after a while, it's just natural, you know, it's just natural.
I'm with you. I know you do have a price book that you have made, so we'll leave that info in the show notes if people are interested in something like that. But for you and me, I've been shopping this way and paying attention to prices for my entire marriage. So for 20
Yeah.
years. And so the prices are just implanted into my brain.
Yes.
So I just know what everything costs because I've
Yep.
always paid attention. But my mother, who doesn't need to pay attention, we went shopping together and this was recent. She was like, why do you know what everything costs? And I was
Why
like,
don't you?
well, because it doesn't matter because
I
she buys
know.
whatever she wants because that's where her budget is.
Yeah.
And for me, I feed a lot more people than she does. And she cares about quality and ingredient list more than anything. But the most important part is that it fits into her budget. So she doesn't look because she doesn't care. She's like, I'm
Yeah.
going to buy this butter and this shrimp. Like she'll scour every single store to find the exact shrimp she wants. And she'll only buy boar's head deli meat, only,
Really?
nothing else, like from the deli sliced in front of her. So she doesn't know what it costs because she doesn't care. That's why she doesn't know what things cost.
Can't imagine not shopping this way.
Right? I
You
kind of
know,
can't either.
it's such a part of me. I can't imagine.
That's
I just
okay.
can't. I
We're all a
just
little
can't.
different.
I
Some
know.
people will have no idea what we're saying right now. They won't see why
Yeah.
My mom
Yeah.
would not see why she needs to save on blah, blah, blah groceries because she doesn't have to. And some people don't have to, which is totally cool. Quick question for you. For myself, I've done the long-term food storage also. I have a large working pantry, large, that I pull from.
Yep.
And I've seen a case lot sale and I'm like, sweet, cream of mushroom, yay, let's get 12 and whatever, canned fruit. So I don't cook with canned products almost ever, almost at all. So I've noticed my 12 cans of cream of mushroom have sat on my pantry shelf for 2 years because I never cook with it. So clearly I'm buying the wrong things or not going about it in the right way. I just bought what I thought I should buy. So in a
Yeah.
circumstance like me where we typically don't cook like that, I don't even cook with canned beans. I make my own from dried beans usually. What would you say to someone like me who's like, I tried to do it and then they just sat there, like not using them? Give me some tips.
That's why you've got to know and take a minute to sit back and like just grab a notebook and paper and go, what are the meals that we're always having and gravitating to? And that's the ingredients that you're going to buy. So you like to cook with fresh beans constantly. I like cooking with fresh beans, but not as constant as you. Um, I because they do take so long,
They do.
they do. Um, and so it's just a matter of time convenience, right? So I do use the canned beans in a lot of our go-to recipes, but I know I can put them in my Instapot or slow cooker. They'll be ready for me in the Instapot in like what, 20 something minutes or
Yeah,
something like
20
that.
something minutes.
And then in my slow cooker, it's pretty much like if I put them in the morning, I'll have them ready like by the next morning. My pinto beans I like softer. So it's just a matter of like what's your time constraint at that time, you know? It's like with me and biting bread. I make bread, but there's times in my life where the timing is just like off, so I'll buy bread. So I noticed I had the same thing when I learned how to really shop when the whole coupon craze started, right? And I was like, "Oh, I can get this for free or this for pennies." And it became an addiction. And then that's how I started my really building my pantry up. And then I was like, but we are like you were saying, we're not going through this. Like we're not eating it. It was like that high of getting that deal. And then it was like, all right, no, 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 no. If I can get something for free and we don't eat it, we'll donate it. Um, and so it was like, all right, so we're not using that. So what are we going through? And that's what you stock up on. So if you're making your own cream of mushroom soups, which I've just been starting to really learn how to do and make it shelf stable, it's so cool. That's going to be coming up in a video. Um, then you're going to buy the things for that and try to get it in a long-term solution. So like they make now heavy cream powders, like it's real heavy cream that was freeze dried, powdered up, and you can get that in a powder form. So you could do things like that and have things ready to go for you to make these, meals. Maybe you're going to be buying on your list heavy cream more or half and half more instead of a can of cream of mushroom soup, right? So it's just you've got to be like strategic on how you're going to do it and keep it shelf stable. And so that's how you just really got to look at it. I mean, um, yeah, like I said, I noticed what I'm not moving through and what we are moving through, and we just adjust.
Okay. For your family, using just what you have in your food room and stocked up on already, what would be like your 5 top go-to meals that your family just loves? It's a winner every time.
Yeah, like if I don't have time to menu plan, and like life is crazy and we just need a meal on the table, we love beef stroganoff, and we can make chicken stroganoff with the same base, like soups. So I use cream of celery and cream of mushroom. I can open up those cans and add it into either the chicken or the beef. And we always have green peppers in our house. So then we have our shepherd's pie recipe. Minestrone soup. I have everything I need for minestrone soup. We have the beef broth. We have cans of beef broth, but we also have the bouillon. Love the bouillon, especially the powdered bouillon. And then I just need what, a can of green beans, a bag of pasta. We always have pasta in our pantry. We always have frozen chicken. So, or we can make enchiladas with the canned chicken that we have on our shelf. We can make burritos at any time with what we have on our shelf. We can make tacos at any time. There's really no excuse in my house of like, there's nothing to eat.
Right.
Like,
So you're saying you're an
sure,
ingredient house.
I have what I need for our meals.
I did pick up the canned ground beef from Walmart. My store had it also for like a long-term food storage situation, and it's kind of awesome actually.
Like canned or freeze-dried canned?
It is no canned, like
Really?
water needed. It is cooked and canned ground beef. I think the ingredients are ground beef and salt,
I've never
and that
seen
is
that.
it. It's by the rest of the canned meats, but my Walmart
Mm,
totally had it, and I was just curious. I was
I
like,
would be too.
I would probably just get this. It's a big can. I think it's a pound and a half or 2 pounds. It might be a pound and a half. It was definitely more than a pound. So it was pricey, but if you just pick up like one or two a month
Oh,
for a little while, I think that one's kind of a good one to have around. So for me, I'm not an expert like at the
yeah.
food room like you are. I don't have quite as much as you, and I'm not as organized as you are. But for me, if I were to do this today, here are my personal must haves. You can tell me if you agree or not. I agree with the bouillon. You got to have it. Like
Yes.
chicken, beef, maybe veggie, depending on how you cook.
Yep.
That's a must. Dried pasta and jarred pasta sauce is also a must. Almost everybody likes spaghetti. It's a 2 ingredient meal. 3 if you add some protein of some variety. It's just so easy.
So
I
easy.
personally use evaporated milk all of the time.
I don't use it all the time. I
Put
try
it
to
in
have
your
at least
mashed potatoes.
yeah, I make sure I have 12 on my shelf.
Yeah, I just bought a case of 12 because I used my last one, but I do use that one a good amount. And then
Yeah.
I would say canned beans if you're a bean eater, if you don't want to go through the process of
Yeah.
going from dry. So I do have some canned. I really don't gravitate towards them because I just use the dried ones most of the time, but I do cook with beans often. And then probably canned tomatoes. Like
Yeah,
they
I
go in
have
everything.
lots. Oh, they do. And it's amazing how many recipes call for it.
I make chili a lot. Grew up in
Mhm.
Texas. We do Texas chili, which is, yes, it's chili with beans. Yes, that's the only way to do it. Chili with
Yes.
no beans is not chili.
Yeah.
I stand by that. I use a lot of tomatoes for that because when I make it, I don't just make it. I make it. Like I triple
Okay.
it, I freeze
All
it.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
I need to try your chili.
Oh my gosh, it's so freaking good. It's
I
awesome.
love
And
trying different chilies. I love trying different ones.
and because it's like I have a base, but you can tinker.
Yeah.
So I'm actually making it today. And this time I wanted to put in canned chipotles in adobo, not the whole can, they're too spicy, but like a
Yeah, they are
few.
spicy.
And then I got 4 giant jalapenos that I'm going to dice up and put in there because I wanted to like have a big kick in it
Mhm.
this time. And I usually use kidney beans, but I had some dried pinto beans I was using up. So we're going to do pinto beans this time instead. So I tweak and I always put
Yeah.
hot sauce in it, but sometimes I have Tabasco and sometimes I have other sriracha and sometimes
Huh?
like it's always a little different.
Yeah. We found this one chili recipe one time and we actually won a chili contest with it at church. And one of the ingredients was beer. And I cannot find this recipe. And that chili was so good. It was before the days of YouTube and recording it, so I
Oh, a long
wish
time ago.
yeah, I do keep, like, a six-pack of beer in our fridge because my beef stew, using a dark lager
Mhm.
makes that stew so good. It is the best beef stew.
I've never done that. My husband doesn't like beef stew, which is very sad, but I
Oh,
don't cook with alcohol very often, but I did do a red wine for a beef roast several years ago to deglaze the pan. I think it's a recipe from Alex Gornishelli, and it was the depth of richness in the sauce was pretty spectacular, kind of unmatched. So that was That was pretty amazing for me, but typically I don't typically
Yeah,
cook with alcohol, but that one was a special occasion. That was good.
I bet that was good. Yeah, there's a few recipes that we'll use a beer for. And now, like when we go to my mother-in-law's and she's like, "We made beef stew."
But it's
Mom,
not
it's
mine.
steak.
I feel that way about mashed potatoes.
Oh,
I make really fantastic mashed potatoes. You don't need gravy. In fact, I would be insulted if you put gravy on my mashed potatoes
so
because that's
you
how good
use
they are.
evaporated milk in them, you said. You
Oh, I
always
use
use
more than that, but yeah, I do a whole can.
Okay, well, now tell me how you make your mashed potatoes. I bet Derek would love your mashed potatoes.
Well, they're pretty bomb. I like either russets or yellows,
Mhm.
the goldens. Either of those are fine. I've been doing them in the Instant Pot,
Oh, yes, same,
um, which is
same.
total game changer. And then I use minimum an entire stick of butter, minimum. Depending on how many I'm doing, I might go as high as two. A
Oh,
whole
yeah.
can of evaporated milk, a whole freaking lot of salt and pepper. And then if I have plain cream cheese and or sour cream, those go in too. And then I just taste and adjust from there.
Yum,
And
yum.
I just keep stirring and keep adding until it is amazing.
Okay, so then you like it creamy, not lumpy.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's hand mashed. They're going to have lumps in it.
Yeah, I beat mine with a mixer. I like
Oh,
I like a smooth, creamy mashed potato. Like if it's
interesting.
lumpy, I'm like, I mean, if it has enough flavor, then fine. It all comes down to flavor, but I like a smooth, creamy, mashed potatoes. So like at Thanksgiving, if it's with Derek's family and who's gonna make this or this, if a certain somebody is like, I'll make the mashed potatoes, I'm like,
Darn
oh,
it.
darn it. They're not gonna be creamy enough. Like, they just gotta be creamy.
Sometimes when I'm around, it was definitely the in-laws. I was like, "Do you mind if I do the mashed potatoes?
Let me help you. Like, let me help you
Do
out.
you
You're so busy. Let me
do
help
you
you with
mind if
these
I do them?"
potatoes.
But
Eh,
now it's turned into one of his sisters is like, "Christine, do the potatoes." I'm like, "You got it. I'm on it."
Yeah. It's so
Um,
funny how like family members they get tagged to make like certain things. Like I'm the one who has to bring the deviled eggs. It's Kimmy's deviled eggs. Like, oh my gosh,
okay,
okay.
listen, this is my new favorite thing. It's deviled egg avocado toast, okay?
I gotta try this.
Listen, you take 2 hard-boiled eggs and you put a whole avocado in the bowl. And then you add your deviled egg ingredients, mash it all up together, and then serve that on toast with cayenne pepper on the top
That sounds good.
with a lot of pickles. It's
Okay,
so good.
that sounds really good.
Yeah, me and my son keep splitting that for like afternoon snack every day.
That sounds so good. I just gotta say to everybody that I absolutely love talking about food with you because when we were hanging out together in April at the conference and just kept talking food, like she is a foodie. She loves her food. And she's like, have you ever had this or this? And I'm like Derek and I love when we go to restaurants trying new things and eating. And like the group that we were with, I'm like, are we gonna be the oinkers? Like, are we gonna be the ones that are like, no, like you're like, I'm down with that. I'm down with that. And we just ate like I was like, I love that you're a foodie. And like, oh yeah,
I don't know if
I
people know
love it.
that about me. I kind of I kind of am a little bit of a foodie, and going to
You
restaurants is a little
are.
annoying. If you're with me, and I've been told that because of my sister's boyfriend has said that my my family, like me and my sister, my brother, my mom, we just know what good food tastes like. Like we're from Southern Louisiana. We know flavor, we know spice. When we like critique all the dishes that come out, and he's like, you know how annoying it is to sit and watch you guys like be your foodie people. It's irritating. So I was like, oh,
What?
interesting. I didn't realize that like other people didn't love food as much as I did.
Yeah.
So that was eye-opening to me, but I will stand by that butter cake I had at that restaurant
It was
was
so good.
the best dessert I've ever had in my life, bar none.
It was delicious.
What was the name of that place?
I
Do you
don't
remember?
remember.
I don't remember the name of that
No,
place.
that was delicious. But I love the fact that you went back to your hotel room with a slice a slice of chocolate cake that was bigger than your head.
That piece of chocolate cake came in an Amazon cardboard box. It was bigger
Sure
than
did.
my femur. It was ridiculous. I think I ate on it for like 2 or 3 days and I didn't finish it.
Well,
Ridiculous. And I had people helping me, but it was just a lot
it was
a lot of cake.
it was big. Well, I don't think we realized because you ordered it to go,
Yeah, I
like
didn't realize that it was not going to be a slice of cake and that it would in fact be
half a cake.
a entire cake that someone would serve to 30 guests.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. But
It
we
was
just
ridiculous.
that weekend was so fun because it was like just eating with you and seeing like what you like. Like I was like, she's a foodie like us. Cause Derek and I always feel like the cows. Like we're like, yeah, let's try this, let's eat this. And because we like trying new things or like, well, let's see how this place does it. Like I think I told you, like, I am a big fan of macaroni and cheese. And I will
Yes, I
try
remember
and I'm
that. Didn't you get the
picky.
lobster mac and cheese?
I did. I splurged
Yes.
and I got there like I think it was just lobster. I don't know if there was anything else in it. And it was good. It was so good. And I'm picky, like, if I'm gonna go to an Italian restaurant, like it's gotta be true Italian food. And I will try their eggplant parmesan. Like, if your parmesan is on point, you're a good Italian restaurant. Just for the record, Olive Garden is not Italian food.
No, Olive Garden is disgusting.
It's disgusting. Oh, so there's not many places I can go that I can get like really good eggplant parmesan. There's one restaurant up in Salt Lake. I think they start with an A or a T, and their name I can never say their name. Um, they are so good. They're spendy. So like it's once in like 5 years we go. Like it's but I know I'm gonna get eggplant parmesan that's gonna taste like my Grammys, like, oh, and I just sit there and I eat it so slow, I'll have a tear in my eye, and I'm just like, "This is so good." So,
I
yeah,
have
I
a
love that you're a
restaurant
foodie.
rec for you. I don't know if you're ever up in Willard. It's pretty far for you. I don't know why you would go up that far north, right by Brigham City. There's for anyone that ever drives through, there's this steakhouse called Maddox that's attached to a ranch, like a beef ranch. And
I
they
think I've heard of them.
are fantastic. You got to go early, right when they open. Otherwise, you're going to be waiting for 2 hours. Get the steak, and their desserts change like daily and weekly and seasonally. But if you ever go and they have the German chocolate cake,
Ooh,
which I've been
I
several times
love
and they've only had it twice, but when they have it, I definitely get an extra and bring it home. You have to get the
it
steak.
sounds familiar, and I don't know if you've talked about it, but that sounds familiar.
Maybe I may have talked about it.
Oh,
It's so good.
okay, I need to make a note of that.
M
It's
A
very
D
rare
D
we're
O
up that
X.
way.
Right. I wouldn't imagine you would be up that high, but
It's
we
very
drive
rare.
through it on our way to Salt Lake. So if the timing is right, Dave and I will be like, hey, should we go to Maddox today?
So Maddox Ranch House says Perry, Utah.
Yeah,
Perry?
Perry. Yeah, right there by Willard and Brigham City. Yes.
Oh my gosh, we
My
were right there during the summer. Shaylee's girls' camp was up that way, and I stayed up in a hotel
oh,
like for 2 days up that way. Dang, we had our shot.
you did have your shot. Well, my
I,
stepdad is buried at the cemetery there in Willard.
oh,
Um
so you go visit dad and
so
go
we
get a
go,
steak.
yeah.
Dang it, we were right. Oh my gosh, we were right there.
Yeah, make a little mental note. If you ever go back, it is worth your time. And it's a steakhouse. It's a little pricey, but it is hashtag worth
Well,
it.
I will pay for a steak at a steakhouse at Spendy, knowing that the quality in the taste is going to be good. Like,
Yeah, it is good. It's very
yeah,
good. So,
yep.
Kimmy, I know you like to read.
No,
What are you reading right now? You reading
I'm
anything?
not. No, I've been listening, and so I've been trying to listen to the I'm naughty to Outlander because I just
Oh
don't
my
have
gosh,
the
I
time.
listened to Outlander.
Yeah, I love Outlander.
I only made it through book 1.
I am listening right now on book 2 because the books are different than the show. And my mom did get me all the books except for the newer one that came out. And this stage of my life right now, I'm trying to like hold a book and read. I just can't. Like my ADHD is so bad right now. So I do a lot of listening to books. So I'm trying to get through the Outlander series. So because the show will be ending soon, and so I'm trying
Hmm.
to see how they're matching and how it's going. So, but the books are always better than the show. So I'm
You
trying to get through
did you ever
that.
read Game of Thrones, those books?
Mm-mm. I have no like desire for those.
I didn't watch the show, but my sister had the books and then she was done with them, so she gave them to me. And the books are battle strategy for like
Mm,
to become king or queen or whatever. The backstabbing and the wars. It's very fascinating.
that
It's
is
not as cut and dry as you might think. So I still didn't watch the show, but the books were not an easy read. Let's say they're not a light read. They're pretty heavy and involved if you are ever in the mental capacity to do that, but they're a little dark. They're a little gross.
ooh.
Like the war
Yeah, I
stuff,
need a
like
book to
back in the
like
medieval
grip me.
times, you get a
Yeah.
broken leg, you're going to die. Like
Oh
they didn't
yeah.
have doctors like we have now. It's
Well,
crazy.
I guess you're saying that about the reading because when you came by in the summer, I just bought
The
Housemaid,
housemaid.
The
Yes.
Housemaid. And got like the one I was supposed to get. I didn't know that the book that I picked up at Costco was the third one in the
The
series.
third
My
of
daughter
the
was
3.
laughing at
Yeah.
me like, "Mom, that's the third book." I'm like, "Can I just hop into it?" She's like, "No."
No.
I'm like,
No,
"Oh."
you cannot.
So I just had gotten the first one. So I haven't even cracked that open yet, and I
Still?
really want
Still
to.
now?
No, I
You
haven't.
won't put it down. Block off an
I am
afternoon.
excited to read that. I really am excited to read that. So I need to make time to read again. It's just I just haven't.
I
But
was shocked at how good the housemaid trilogy was. It was surprisingly excellent.
I have them. I just need to do it. I need to make it a
Okay.
priority. I really do. I need to make it a priority. Yeah.
It's good for your mental health. Did you know that it lowers your stress?
Well, then I better read all the books.
All the books, all of them.
Oh.
Kimmy, if you could give anyone one piece of advice, what would it be?
Oh my. One piece of advice on anything?
One on anything. I'll give you
It's not
one
about
and then you can give
Okay.
me one. How about that?
It's not about you.
Oh, I love it so much.
You could apply that to any scenario.
Yes.
It's not about you.
Oh, that is so good. Okay, here's one. It's not as good as yours. Yours is better. I'm it's not even a quote so much as like the statement of fact.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I love it.
Your financial success in life, the number one cause of financial success or unsuccess in your life is who you marry. Did you know that?
Interesting.
Yes. That's actually true. So if you're not married,
Wow.
like you're dating, you need to be extremely selective with who you end up with.
That is
Are
true.
they a spender or a saver? Are they a hard worker or not? Are there like money addictions there? Financial, I can't think of the right financial infidelity, selfish, not selfish. Like these matter. These
That
matter.
is so true. And I think we talked about this like the first time I came on to your podcast where the advice that I gave to my daughter when she was dating, it was like, yes, you're not husband shopping right now, but like even dating, like if they have no good work ethic and if they're in massive debt, you run. And thank gosh, she married a good man with good work ethic. He's an electrician and he's on his way to
Good
own his
for
own
him.
company. And like,
Awesome.
so it's work ethic, like
Yeah, that's
big time.
excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, yours is so good. It's not about you. It's so true.
Yeah, I've learned that a lot in the last, I would say, like 5 years. It really has opened up. And I wish I had learned that years ago
Hmm.
because it really hits like in any situation or any relationship. And when you're just struggling with somebody, and it's like if you're having issues with family member, an in-law, or friend, it's like a lot of the time it's not about you. It's just not.
It's
And
so true.
yeah, I wish I'd learned that a long time ago.
That's the fun part about getting older. We get a little bit smarter. Maybe wiser is the right word. We get a little wiser as time goes
Yeah,
on. And then we try and tell younger people, and they don't listen because I didn't listen either. And then the cycle continues.
that's right. I know. I love it like when you see your kids adulting and it's like it's hard to parent an adult child. You're like you can only really give your advice unless they ask you. And it's hard to shut your mouth when you probably should shut your mouth. But I'm always like, "Can I give you some advice?" And if they say no, I'm like, "Okay." And then when they
Okay.
do it, and it doesn't go their way, I'm like, "Oh, only if someone told you that wouldn't have worked."
Okay, Kimmy, if people want to find you on the internet and everything you have to offer, where would they go?
They can go to YouTube, She's in Her Apron. Everything is She's in Her Apron. And then there's she'sinherapron.com. So,
Awesome. Thank you so
yeah.
much for chatting with me
Yeah.
today. It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure.
I love chatting with you. You know that. You're so fun.
Oh, you're so nice.
So fun. Thank you for having me on.